Hello there, and welcome to the Sky Guys podcast. We are all back. The OG crew is here. We are completed our journey to the Star Wars Video Game Club. We are now catching up on some old business here. We are getting to Tales of the Underworld. It's like the latest installment in the Tales franchise. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Phillips. With me, as always, and he made his great return at the end of the podcast last week. Pete Consadori is here. Pete, how are you?
I snuck in. No one knew I was coming. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time that you haven't heard our beautiful voices on the air, but Max and Nick always lock it down and always do a fantastic job. So you were definitely in good hands there. Yeah, no, excited to talk about this.
Yep. Also here with us today, the new sheriff in town, Nick Fraietta, is back with us. Nick, how are you?
Doing great. Happy to be back. It's been so long, they've changed how Zoom looks.
Yes.
A little bit different since I've been here. So excited to be back.
Excited to resume your mantle, the news guy, because the other Nick did the news while you were gone.
He did, and I saw a lot of clips go up on social media with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Here and Pete, people want subscribers to the Sky Guys. They can do so Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, Amazon, all usual suspects. Simply search for the Sky Guys favorite podcast platform for episodes there, and we got a lot of fun stuff coming up here. I mean, we teased it last week. We're starting the Mandalorian rewatch project next week, so make sure you subscribe to come along with that ride.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm very curious to see what our thoughts are going to be so many years down the road, but definitely subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. Make sure you subscribe to the new YouTube channel at Sky Guys Podcast as well. It's all free, helps us out, helps you out, get the content.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on that YouTube channel last week with your surprise appearance. We looked at the galaxy map. We had a lot of fun stuff last week.
Yeah, no, the YouTube's rocking and rolling, so make sure you're checking it out.
Yeah, and Nick, one more. I want people let people know how to follow us on social media.
They can follow us at Sky Guys Podcast all over.
Yep. Speaking of social media, go to our social media comment of the week. This is from TikTok. This is from comment from Michael 8643368 said, "May will never be on board with a movie giving Ray the story of building the new Jedi Order that we all want to see from Luke." So a lot of thoughts on this Ray movie delay that we heard about a few weeks ago.
We know what's going on with the movie. And they haven't said it. We don't know for sure, but we know they're testing the waters with that Mando movie, and until they know what happened to that movie, nothing else is gonna happen, except of course that one movie with Ryan Gosling. The name escapes me.
Starfighter.
Starfighter, yeah. Everything else is just gonna wait and see how it goes. And if it does well, they'll make it. If it doesn't do well, they'll say, no, we can't do this.
Yeah, Pete, I do feel like they are also being very protective of the Ray character itself, and like they're not going to rush Ray out the door if they don't think they have the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a fragile topic, just Star Wars and Disney right now in general. Huge success with Andor, in my opinion, but I feel like with Rey and especially those sequel trilogies, you got to make the smart decision when it comes to what kind of quality movie you're putting out there with characters that are from arguably probably the worst trilogy out of the three that we have. So, um, they're making sure that they're gonna put some quality out there, making sure people are going to go to the theaters and respond well to it before they do anything.
All right, let's go over the news department here. Nick, we did a good job keeping up, so we didn't have like a full news episode while you were gone. There's a couple things that slipped in here last week.
Sure. So, we have a few pieces of news. The first one is that four directors for season two of Ahsoka have been announced. We have Dave Filoni, we have Bryce Dallas Howard, we have Jennifer Getzinger, and Anders Engstorm. I don't know him.
Yeah,
Says here he directed some episodes of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The other three were all Ahsoka directors before.
Bryce Dallas Howard was not. She's done
Oh,
other
really? I
stuff.
know she's done a ton of Star Wars, but I guess she didn't do Ahsoka.
It's the only Star Wars stuff she has not done yet.
Okay. But we have anyone else here is not new to Star Wars, except for Anders here, who did Percy Jackson.
Yeah, so Pete, interesting stuff so far. You know that Filoni did the bangers in season one, episodes 4 and 5, episode 5 especially. Bryce Dallas Howard always seems to find good episodes when she shows up here. So encouraging sign as the Ahsoka development cycle is early on.
100%. I'm still not sold on the whole multiple directors for a season or show. But something we can discuss later on for a different topic.
I'm not either. I just feel like that's what it is. We have to live with it. It's every show, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. So what else we got? I know this might be more about pizza. How we got the rest of the news.
Yeah, well, the next thing is Dan Stevens is joining the cast of the next Lego Star Wars special, which is Rebuild the Galaxy, Pieces of the Past, and he's going to be a new villain called, was it Solitis?
I guess Solitis. So season two, basically, of Rebuild the Galaxy.
Yep, Solitis. And then a new wave of Lego Star Wars sets are announced for August.
And
Um, I'm not the Lego guy, so
eats the Lego guy. So we're gonna take
go.
a look at some of these. I do have the YouTube version up here. I have a page with the August Lego drops here. So we'll scroll through here. A couple some interesting ones, Pete. You got the Republic Juggernaut for 160. It's got a Kiadi Mundi minifig, which is new. Hasn't been, we haven't seen in a while. This is the new Force away, the Rebuild the Galaxy set, the Force Burners. That intrigue you?
Not really. Most of these, and you'll go through them on the YouTube, but most of these sets are play sets. With the exception of maybe three, right? We have the ATST. We have, of course, the one that you're showing up right now, the Ewok.
Okay.
And then also K2SO, I believe, is in that drop for August as well. Those to me are the collector's sets. The rest are kind of play sets. And I got to be honest with you, the collector sets are priced comfortably for Star Wars. It's still high, but like it's not terrible, terrible. But like these play sets, like that first one you showed, should not be that much money. Like that, I'm sorry, like that piece count
Yeah,
and like it
160
being a
bucks.
and it being a play set, like $160 for a small Lego car with some minifigs is kind of getting a little ridiculous. I kind of see why they're doing it. Minifigs have become very, very popular. You know, if there's an exclusive minifig, sometimes they up the price. But it's I don't know, if I was a parent and my kid wanted a Lego set and it was a play set, not like a collector set with a lot more pieces and a lot more professional looking. I don't know if I'm spending close to $200 on a play set.
Yeah, comparison here, Nick, just so you know, I know that like that you like are not invested in the Lego space. The comparison here, 160 bucks for 813 pieces for this set. Go down to our buddy K2SO down here. 845 pieces, 90 bucks, only one minifigure.
Interesting. It's interesting to say the least.
All right, so is that all the news we got?
That's it.
All right, so let's go into what we're talking about here, which is Tales of the Underworld. It came out in the middle of Andor on Star Wars Day. We now have time to get to in the middle of the Andor coverage, and then the Kodor stuff popped up here. So, general thoughts here on Tales of the Underworld, Nick.
I'll give you the most general thoughts ever. It was better than Tales of the Empire, but it was worse than Tales of the Jedi.
That seems about the way I would feel too, and I do feel particularly Pete. I feel like Cad Bane's storyline was far more interesting than the Asajj Ventress storyline.
Yeah, I was very low on Asajj Ventress' story. I was very disappointed, actually. I know they're very short episodes, and we'll get into why, but feels like a whole lot of nothing happened in those short episodes where Cad Bane, there was you know, a lot more content there that we can kind of digest.
Yeah, and Nick, in the Cad Bane one, I mean, we had the equivalent of like the Shams bomb drop in the last episode here, like the way out of left field plot twist with that one. Asajj was sort of a story we've seen many times in Star Wars in different iterations.
Yeah, it's true. We see that all the time. But you're right. The Cad Bane one was a big twist. Cool to know. As I said when we were watching Andor, it was a very Star Warsy thing to do. And someone said in TikTok that it wasn't, and then less than a month later, it happened again. So that person who commented on TikTok, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, you're getting called out.
Yeah, I don't remember who you are, but I think you're wrong.
All right, so let's go into these tales a little bit. So I think we should start with the Ventress ones here. So she has three: Away, Forward, Friends, and One Warrior to Another. The short story version here. The interesting thing that came out of it was like we finally got the answer for how she showed up in basically in Bad Batch after she dies in Dark Disciple, the book. They do show that it is canon. They show Ventress, like Quinlan and Obi-Wan burying her body after the events of the book. She's placing the spiritual wars on Dathomir, revives her spirit. Basically, the Mother Talzin's ghost shows up and says, "Hey, if you want your body to come back, you can come back, but you can never be with Quinlan again." And Quinlan was sort of the love interest in the book. So, Pete, did this explanation satisfy you for the Ventress return? It's just magic.
No, this is one of the main gripes I had. Look, I don't know how many people are reading the books. I'm not particularly a book person. I was so confused off the bat. I was like, when did this happen? When was Quinlan Voss and Obi-Wan with Ventress? And that, like, last time I saw Ventress was trying to kill everyone. Like, it was very, very out of left field for me because I have never read the books. Now, for people who read the books, pretty seamless, right? So I think they need to do a better job with giving a little bit more information about how that all kind of transpires for the people who haven't read the book. Especially a book that might not be on everyone's radar.
Yeah. Nick, we know we covered the book a little bit last year during Bad Batch. I explained sort of like what happened in the book and like how basically Ventress was teamed up with Quinlan to go on a secret mission to assassinate Dooku, and then she dies because after Quinlan falls in love with her, he falls to the dark side. She dies to bring him back. So, how do you think they handled this?
Fine, I guess, but I agree with Pete. I think it's very confusing for those who didn't read the book. And it's one thing to ask your audience to do some homework by watching other movies. But when you start asking them to watch shows, it's like, okay, it's a little much. Now you're asking them to read books too. It's a lot of homework. It's a little too much homework for me. And I think that it suffers because of that. And it's like Pete said, it's not a satisfying uh, answer to the question of how she survived. And again, still don't know when this falls in the timeline. Is this after or before Bad Batch?
This is before.
The whole arc?
Yes, I did look it up. It is before.
See what you just said? You
Yeah.
looked it up. You had to look it up to figure it out.
Yeah. There's not a very good job here. And this is like, I think to me, the question I have is like, if this is what we're doing with Ventress, and I know that they put out shortly after the series came out, oh, do you want to see more Asajj Ventress adventures? If this is what we're getting, she should have stayed dead. It would have been more powerful if the character stayed dead.
I agree. So it's a common criticism in Star Wars that a lot of characters just don't stay dead. They come back. I mean, we have a long list: Boba Fett and Maul, and now Ventress, and
A lot,
this
a
goes
lot,
on and on.
a lot of Dave's characters don't stay dead.
Yeah, the list goes on, and it's become almost a meme at this point. And some of them I would love to see them come back. For example, Maul's character had so much more edit to it from the return.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's, I'm still happy he came back, but nothing really was added. This one, I think it hurts the character.
Yes. I think the sacrifice of the character is more powerful than her coming back to life and basically doing the Mando plot or the Bad Batch plot of I'm gonna guard a kid and become friends with and like have a child by my side the rest of my life.
I guess it's the easy way to make them a good guy. You know what I mean? Is have them care for someone who's, for lack of a better term, helpless.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go quickly through her storyline here. So the first one, basically, she's working for an Imperial travel agency, trying to stay under the radar. A kid comes in, tries to get himself off the planet. Ventress knows he's using the Force. She picks up, "Oh, you're a Jedi." She tries to send the kid on his way, but the coworker says, "I'm going to collect some credits." She ends up helping the kid escape. An Inquisitor fights her. She beats the Inquisitor there and tells the kid her past. That's the first episode of this. So. Anything remarkable there, Pete?
No, no. I think personally the whole 3 episode arc is way too late in that story. They should have done something earlier, but we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But nothing crazy. Shows that Asajj Ventress has changed since when we saw her in the Clone Wars. It's like whatever to me.
Yeah. And we also learn, Nick, a little bit that like she is going to in the second episode, we find out that she learns that Quinlan has been established a hidden path. She wants to try and find Quinlan. So she and the kid who have an uneasy alliance make a deal with a bounty hunter friend of hers that they're going to steal a relay unit from the Empire and they're going to basically get the information from the bounty hunter friend. And it goes wrong. The kid, whose name is Lyko, loses the device. They decide to try and turn the kid in. Ventress gets him out. there we go. Episode two, a quick heist episode. So again, anything you want to add the first two so far?
Nothing really, except I do enjoy this the callback or like the mention of Quinlan Voss and the path and giving her a reason to want to do something rather than just like what she was doing in the Bad Batch. I still have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like this is at least giving her a reason for the character, that she'd fallen in love with Quinlan before the whole tragedy of her quote unquote dying. So going to find him and seeing what he's doing is naturally the next step. So I'm happy they at least did that.
Yeah. I think that was solid here. The third one, I think, is the best of the three, where they're on the hunt of the hidden path. They on a random like desert planet. They find like a kid and her grandfather. Her grandfather was on the Confederate side of the Clone Wars. He has war injuries, and basically come up with this deal of like, okay, we need help getting our water because these raiders are attacking us. We try and get the water. We'll give you information how to get to the cannon to get to the path. This happens. Basically, we realize that sort of that there's miscommunication between the grandfather and the raiders who are willing to share the water, but he's still in as PTSD. They make the deal. They end up getting it done, and Lyco gets left behind, but he decides, you know what, I don't need the path. I'll stay with Ventress. Basically, it's the storyline. So, Pete, I think for a short, this was fine, but like this is the high water mark of the Ventress story. It's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I want to backtrack a little bit to what I first said. I think that, if you did read the book, this is a nice touch, right? Like, I mean, this is just not maybe for us or for the people who are usually just watching the visual media versus reading. So, I mean, this is not necessarily a bad quality thing. It's just the story that I was hoping for Ventress was going to be a lot more in depth. This was very, in my opinion, shallow, very here's the storyline, almost like mission based, and then that's done. So to Nick's point, I wish we got a little bit more about timeline. Where does it lead up to the Bad Batch? Why is she there? Gives a little bit more legitimacy, but yeah, it's not bad. It's just like there's not much to it.
Yeah, Nick, this is very much like your average story in Star Wars here. And basically, they wrapped it up in a way where it's like, okay, if we don't ever deal with adventures again, she and the kid have adventures for the rest of their lives. But if you want to see more and there's an outcry for it, we can do more. But like, I don't think we need more.
As we say here all the time, very cookie cutter.
Yes.
That's one of our mottos, cookie cutter. It should be on our bingo card.
Yep, Team Cookie Cutter. And like, did you guys like Lyco at all?
No.
It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't dislike him at all. He was right in the middle. I had no opinion on him whatsoever.
Like he was like he seemed like the generic NPC character in a video game.
Yeah, this is very true. He just everything he did was incredibly predictable. Nothing made me angry. Nothing made me happy. It's just like, yeah, this is exactly what I expected.
Yeah, and interesting, Pete, that this comes before the Bad Batch chronology, which makes you wonder like where this kid is when she goes and meets Omega.
It's funny because I didn't even think of that. I wasn't like, I wonder where Lyco is. Like it just like Nick said, he's just so down the middle. It doesn't really matter. It's a character in a short.
Yeah. All right. So anything else you want to add on Bench before we go to the Cat Bane side of the story?
I would like to go to the Cad Bane side.
All right. Cad Bane side, we actually get a little backstory on Cad Bane. We see that these two Duro kids are basically street rats scavenging. They catch the eye of like a shady older guy. He's the kids pull a scam out of a droid delivering some groceries. Catches the eye. They're like, "Oh, hey kids, you got talent. Here's some credits." Like he says, "This is an investment in you guys." So they go to the store. They buy the Andor cereal, the one that Karn eats. They buy that. They they go in here and Cad reveals basically to his buddy like, "I never knew my parents." They see a high speed case. The shady guy comes says, "Hey, I gave you credits. Now I want you to work for me. Like, go create a strategy so we can go like steal from the illegal like gambling ring in the back room." So Hero that wants to back out of this. Cad Bane is intrigued. Says, "Give me more money." And shady guy says, "Cool, I'm in. You're in." And then they create the distraction. Nero gets pinched by the cops. Cad and his buddy, Cad and the Shady Guy get away. So that is the first arc. So we get to see Cad's first crime, Nick. His first dive into the dark side here.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that. It's like I don't know.
It's his villain origin story.
Yeah, it seems kind of Western in a way.
Oh, he is a Western based character.
Yeah, yeah, of course, which is what I like about it.
Yeah, Pete, what do you think about the first dalliance of crime for Cad Bane?
I mean, I'm just happy that we got something that is the tale of an underworld. You're right. Like, I mean, the Asajj Ventress, I feel like doesn't even fit the underworld part. Maybe in some aspects, but we get this crime, kid just trying to survive with his friend, doesn't have any parents, they were just kind of both on their own in this city. Um, Very easy to get mixed up with the wrong crowd, if you will, right? So, definitely a good start to Cad Bane's story.
Yeah, I do like the setup here where like he's the more aggressive one and like the shady guy who we find becomes Cad Bane's mentor in a sense sort of picks up on and says, "You have a skill for this, so like I'm going to use you and like hone your talents and make you a master you know petty criminal."
Yeah, I like that they say his name too, Colby.
Yeah, Colby he becomes Cad Bane later.
Yeah, Colby Bane.
Yeah,
Maybe some relation to Darth Bane.
maybe.
Probably not.
I think it's probably just an homage.
Yeah, but no, it was a good start. I was really interested. Like when I was watching it, I watched it the day it came out. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it since, but um, when I watched it, I said to myself when this one started, I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." Like I didn't know we were gonna get. I just knew we were getting a Cad Bane story at that point. I had no idea what it was gonna be. Seeing him as a little kid, I was like, "Oh, I kind of really interested in this."
Yeah. Definitely some good stuff here. Let's go to the second one here, which is a good turn where we go basically, I think, to like teenage Cad Bane, and he wants to go with Laszlo, who's our shady guy on the mission. He gets left behind to watch the shop. Later on, Laszlo comes back with a damaged ship. He dies on the mission. Cad Bane gets his signature hat from Laszlo and says, "I'm gonna get revenge." Cad and like one of his friends go investigate what happens to Laszlo. They find Nero, who's now a cop at this point. Nero says the marshal of our town killed Laszlo because Laszlo was doing some bad things, but we do not want you to get messed up in this. Just turn around, go home, and we'll take things happening here. Cad's friend wants to leave. Cad says, "No, I'm getting revenge for Laszlo." Cad has his first ever showdown with the marshal. He murders the marshal. In result, Nero gets there too late. His friend Aaron gets shot. Asks Cad to let go. He says he can't, and basically Cad Bane gets arrested at this point and is sent to prison. So Cad's first murder, Pete.
On screen, as far as we know. We don't know what other shady stuff he was doing for Laszlo. But great episode again. On par, a little bit more action, but on par with the first episode. Adds that element of, let's just call it what it is. I think that was a more than a friend that he was with, Cad Bane. So there's that element to it. The friend's older, kind of that reunion, but then there's that tension between law and lawlessness. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
I say law and disorder.
Yeah, law and disorder.
Yeah,
Yeah, the name of the episode was The Lawless Path.
yeah, yeah. It was here. We see that like Cad had a choice, or like he's with his like love interest Aaron, who like really wanted to let this go, but he just can't. And like he is like he feels he came in like indebted to Laszlo, and Laszlo's his mentor. He wanted to avenge his mentor who got killed by the marshal.
Right.
All right. Last one here. One good deed. Their home world of Duro is now thriving. Cad Bane's in jail, but Cad Bane's gang is causing trouble. And Nero, who is now basically the marshal of this group, he says that he's not worried about it. His deputy tells him that Cad Bane is out of jail in technicality, and he's worried that Cad's gonna come back for revenge. Deputies worry about Nero, who now has a son named Isaac. The council is concerned. Like they have a town council, they're worried about Cad Bane showing up there, and they say to Nero, "Hey, look, like get rid of this guy before he causes too many problems." The son Isaac studies Cad's profile. Bane's crew offers Nero a warning that Cad's not happy that he and Aaron got married. Nero, the deputy resigns after Bane. Nero's a security droid watching Isaac. Bane shows up at the police station. Isaac gets away from the security droid. Nero and Cad Bane have a showdown. Nero gets killed, and he reveals that Isaac is Cad Bane's son. And Cad Bane's son's first act is watching his dad murder his adoptive dad. So, pretty dark end to this, Nick.
Yeah, and another classic Star Wars moment. That's a direct call out to you, guy on TikTok. Um,
Secret Son.
yeah, really cool. I wonder if they will bring him around.
Yeah, Pete, how'd you like how this storyline ended with Cad Bane?
I mean, I really like how they kind of put the reality TV kind of married the love interest while he was gone in prison aspect, because I think that gives more motive to the character instead of I'm still mad that my guy Laszlo got killed, so I'm gonna come avenge him. I think it adds that level of personality and personal um revenge to Cad Bane and gives him, his character growth increases in that moment. It's not just shallow where we're still working on the same plot points as episode 2. So that was really good. And I think that ends in even darker kind of walk away as he kind of just leaves his son behind like this that's it. Like I'm done.
Yeah. So we did learn it basically that Erin was pregnant when she was with Cad Bane the first time around. And now we realize that like Erin had died off screen. Like Nero is now dead. Cad left his son an orphan.
Yeah, this is kind of mirrors. I don't know, not really mirrors, but it's similar to Anakin in a way.
A little bit.
A broken home. I just wonder if they'll bring him back. Do you think they will?
I don't know. I feel like this is a in the live action timeline, Cad Bane is dead. So do we want to investigate into his son anymore? Like, I don't think this is necessary, in my
Well, it's
opinion.
definitely not necessary, but I mean, they won't do it.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I feel like was too niche. This is sort of like just telling a story that Dave wanted to tell about where Cad Bane came from.
What about Cassian's son?
We'll never see him again either.
I don't think so either, but you never know. Maybe he is a member of the Resistance.
Yeah. Perhaps.
I mean, probably, right?
I would think. That would,
After what, like, he grows up, unless Bix hides it from him, but if he learns about who his father was and what he did, I would imagine he would go work for the Resistance when he got older. But that's not about Tales of the Underworld. That's Andor talk.
yeah, that's Andor talk here. And we'll sort of do a little wrap up here. Of the six, which was your favorite one, guys?
Hmm.
I mean, mine's pretty cliche. It's the last one. It's episode 6. I think that was the strongest on a really strong arc. Um, I would say episode. I mean, anything through 4 through 6, but 6 to me stood out.
Yeah, I agree. I think six was great. And in terms of another shout here, I will think so the one before. I think five was solid as well in terms of like sort of getting you into the Cad Bane gets his hand fully commits to his path of crime.
Yeah, I'll say five is my favorite, just to be a little bit different.
Yeah, so I think those are good shots here. So the worst one of the six,
I would say one,
I would say two, because one at least you
two,
got
yeah.
a little information about her, even if it's a bad information of how she survived. Like two was sort of we were just stalling to make sure we got to a third story.
Uh, I'm gonna say 3. Typical mission episode. It's like, what are we adding? It's like, get the water. Okay, we got the water, and then the cliche. I decided not to go and stay with you. Like that just to me cheapened it a little bit even more than the first arc had. So I would say episode 3 was the worst.
For me, it was like the PTSD, like Clone War leftover thing elevated that one a little bit to me. But like, two, like, how many times have we watched like either clones or rebels just go steal something? We've seen that story like 6,000 times.
Yep.
All right, so in terms of the power rankings, Nick spoiled his in terms of the Tales franchise. His rankings are basically uh Jedi, Underworld, Empire. Pete, is that your order as well?
Yeah, I'm right there with him.
It's funny too because Underworld is so like Cad Bane's is probably I think like the second best Tales group we got after Dooku's, but like Ventress's might be the worst.
I don't know. I was really low on everything Tales of the Empire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they picked the wrong character Empire. We discussed this last year.
Yeah, I think you go number one, I think is Dooku stuff. Number two is what we saw with Cad Bane, and number three is probably Ahsoka.
I think by default.
And then after that, it's just pick your poison, honestly.
Yeah. This is
They're all pretty bad.
yeah. Here's my interesting question to you because it seems like now that like it seems like we're committed to make this an annual thing where like we're getting a Tales franchise in some form in every year. Do you think we need more? Because I feel like we're getting diminishing returns every time we get this.
They definitely don't need more, but they have other ones they can do. Like, for example, when Tales of the Jedi came out, actually didn't come out on May 4th. It came out in 2022.
Yeah.
And the last two came out on May 4th of 24 and 25. So I would assume if they do it again, it'll be May 4th of 26. But when the first one came out, Tales of the Jedi, naturally, all of us said, oh, we got to do Tales of the Sith. They didn't do that yet. So I'd like to see that.
Pete, do you think that there is like room for improvement with the Tales franchise? I feel like we're heading down the wrong direction with it.
I think these three are going to be the main umbrella franchises. I think we're going to get multiple seasons of each. So I think we're going to get another season of Tales of the Jedi, a season two, if you will, looking at other Jedi. I think we'll get another season of Underworld, and we'll get another season of Empire. And I think the Sith is going to be in that Empire kind of esque. I think for them to continue to pump out different cards and different umbrellas is just, I don't want to say dumb, but make it a collection. Don't just keep pushing out separate cards, and I think that's the way they should go. Sith is a very obvious one that they may do instead of doing it through the Empire, but I think we'll get multiple seasons at some level with the umbrella card with the title cards we already have.
I think we are going to get like more cards, as you will. I think we're going to get some point. I think either Tales of the Rebellion or Tales of the New Republic to sort of like continue our OG stories a little bit. I could see that happening here, but I think we're continuing this. I think we need to stay away from the more niche characters. I think the ones that we know the best work the best. I don't think like the appeal for resolving, for example, the Barriss storyline or how Ventress came back from a book death. I don't think that's gonna get us like I don't think a juice worth the squeeze there.
Let me tell you something about Ventress's storyline. If you were to end with her deciding to become mortal again and do everything leading up to that, much stronger, much stronger, right? You animate what was in the books, and people that have watched the Clone Wars are like, oh, this is what happened after all the stuff we saw. I think it does much better if you just back it up a year or something. So I don't necessarily think picking Asajj Ventress was the problem. I think the timeline it's which they showed Asajj Ventress was the problem.
Yeah, like would you have been fine, Nick, if they had like sort of like adapted Dark Disciple into these shorts and sort of like gave you actually said, oh, here's what actually happened when she dies, and then sort of left the choice, maybe like you do like an epilogue where she picks up this kid.
So, yeah, maybe. So, yes, I'm kind of interested in that. There's so many things that have happened in comics and books that you and I have never seen
Yeah.
that I would love to see. Like, instead of bringing it into visual media and changing it or retconning it or making small edits to it, just show it to us.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. There's so many cool books out there that I've never gotten the chance to read, or to be honest, not that I haven't had the chance, I don't want to read. So it'd be cool if they showed it to me.
It's an interesting point too, because we have the Maul Shadow Lord series coming up, and like there is a whole like unproduced Clone Wars arc that they canonize into a comic book, Nick. So we wonder if they'll give us like flashbacks of that in the Maul show.
I completely forgot about that show.
Yeah,
That's cool. I'm excited for that show.
it's next year.
Yeah.
All right, so prediction before you go here, do you think that we are getting a fourth Tales next year?
I don't know about next year, but I think we're gonna get a fourth Tales.
Pete, what do you think?
I think we're getting a season 2 of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think that I could see it. I could see say going Tales of the Jedi Volume 2.
Yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily going to do another tile card, but very possible. Very, very possible for them to do it.
I would like Tales of the Sith. I feel like it just makes sense. Like, give me like a Maul backstory, even,
Yeah.
or
You're
maybe a Palpatine episode, or a. 'Cause if your plan was Acolyte season two is to show more of Plagueis, maybe you do that instead here.
Chimera Plagueis together, sort of.
Yeah, this might be a way to throw them in there, Sith and stuff. Although, I don't know, it's very confusing if Chimera was actually a Sith or not. I feel like he wasn't technically, but it's very confusing.
They're very protective of their Sith characters. I feel like they do not want to dispel that information unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah, that's how they keep the rule of two a thing. They just say, nope, he's not a Sith.
Yep. Yeah, that whole thing with the visual guy last week, how he's a pretender to the Sith lineage, which is like, okay, guys, like, come on.
I mean, to be fair, they did the same thing with the Inquisitors. You know what I'm saying? Like if we could do it with the Inquisitors, they could do it with other things. So I'm not terribly upset about that part.
I think he was a Sith actually. Chimera. I don't even know anymore.
I guess is he's probably the guy that like was being trained by Plagueis, helping him overthrow his own master.
Think he was trained by Plagueis, or you think
Yeah,
he
Plagueis is
trained?
sort of like picking him up to sort of overthrow his master.
I don't know. I think he may have been. Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah. Maybe his master Tenebris was so powerful he needed like a second guy to help him get the job done.
It's like the only thing I wanted to know.
Yeah, and they waited way too long to give us that.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say though, my final like statement here is I think that we need to, like please like pick interesting characters and have something interesting to do with them. Like giving us the sort of Mandalorian Bad Batch reskin storyline with the Asajj Ventress, I think was a waste of our time for that one.
Right.
I agree.
All right. I think that's it for us this week on the Tales of the Underworld. Not a ton of material to cover here, but we're starting a new project next week. We are going to revisit The Mandalorian. We got The Mandalorian Grogu less than a year from hitting theaters here. We're going to go back and we had never as a group did the episodic watches of season one and season two. So we're going to do the season one now. Season two, we're going to do in January. So we're going season one for the rest of the summer, Nick. We're going to start next week. We'll go back to chapter one where it all began.
Then I'd like to do something if you guys are okay with it. I would like to watch these episodes and do our episodes on them, like our review episodes, as if we don't know the rest of the show and try to really take it episode by episode rather than saying, like, oh, this is great because it shows us that the child's real name is Grogu. Like, like we don't know that at this point. Let's just try our best to like pretend we had never seen the rest of it. I mean, obviously we have, and we're not gonna make it seem like that to our audience that we've never seen it, but treat this as an episode, not a show.
Yeah, so like we'll do the same thing. We'll do an MVP board. We'll do some grades. Like we only do trackers because Nick, we did that during the first rewatch prior season three, like where we did the
Yeah,
season
we
one.
added we added them in. Yeah,
We're not gonna do the trackers again, but we can do an proper MVP board and do some grades. So I think that's
yeah. I think that's a great idea, and they could really do it because we were before our time as a podcast.
yeah, because season one, no, I never did on the front here. Season two, like I did episodically on Just on the Suffering, but like it was not the three of us. It was like you popped in for one, Pete popped in for one, then we did together for the finale with different the fourth person, and then we said, okay, we got to try and make this thing.
Yeah, so this will be nice. I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, so that's gonna be what's coming up here next week. Chapter one next week. So we're gonna get into that one here. I think it's coming on here. Pete, people want to follow you on social media, I can do that.
At Consi29 on Twitter, CONSY29 on Twitter, AP Tower 308 posted this on Reddit. Make sure you check them out.
Nick, one more time the social media front. How people follow us there?
At Sky Guys Podcast, pretty much everywhere.
Yep. So follow me on social media, M Phillips 331. It's MPHILIPS 331. You go around Just on the Suffering podcast. Got ready for the Open Championship. We talked to Dan DiMartini, our PJ Tour guide, to preview the final golf major of the season here. So, Nick, are you placing any wagers after listening to that podcast?
Maybe I gotta listen first. I gotta place a wager or two.
Then we'll place a wager or two here. We'll be back next week to begin our rewatch of The Mandalorian. Until then, may the Force be with you.